And we're back with another episode of Lakers Latest. I'm Gerald Glassford, the host of the Lakers Latest podcast, part of the Fan Arc Network. Please like and subscribe. Subscribe today to get the latest notifications on when we go upload, my friends at the Fan Arc Network, the latest, Lakers Latest, to you out there. If you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, hello, how are you? Hopefully you are having a great day, whether you're listening at work or driving on the road. So hopefully you are having a good time in doing so. And in doing so, wanted to go ahead and give you guys and gals a shout out there. But if you can, please like, follow, make sure you hit that 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. Even if you just put good show and then 5 stars, I'll take it. I like it. So go ahead. We could really use your help by putting in that 5-star review right there for you. And then also as well, go ahead and make sure you like and follow and do all that good stuff. But also for my friends at the Fan Art channel, they have a great place to go as far as their main hub, whether you're just typing a search on one of those audio podcast outlets or also as well on YouTube. I'm hoping they'll put the link down below in the description, but if you don't see it there, just type in, no worries, type in Fan Arc on a YouTube search right there for you, and you'll go ahead and get the Fan Arc Network with a ton of shows right there at your beck and call, featuring a ton of teams that you need to check out today. So please stop by my friends at the Fan Arc Network as well. Well, the Lakers are on the road today, later today, against the Golden State Warriors. Did gotta mention that Golden State Warriors in their last game had something really kind of strange happened, kind of tanking, kind of whatever you want to determine to be as the Golden State Warriors and the Sacramento Kings played. And in that game, with those two teams, it's really funny because I guess there a little over 3 minutes left. A little over 3 minutes left. Golden State down by one. Steph Curry is coming up just before half court with the ball. His brother, who he didn't get a chance to play with much this season because they were both injured at various points in time, but they are playing now together. He was on the other side of the court, and Doug Christie called for him to be fouled, so he was intentionally fouled. Seth Curry, brother of Steph Curry. Curry, good shooter, great shooter, one of the best free throw shooters probably of the last 20 or so years, both of them. Okay, so what's going on here? Well, it kind of looks when Sacramento's up by one and intentionally fouling somebody, a really good free throw shooter with 3 minutes left, you think, tanking team doing some tanking things there. Sacramento swears that they're not doing anything to undermine the game and tanking, but they said that simply Doug Christie, the coach of the Sacramento Kings, made a terrible mistake. It was a coaching error, and they threw him under the bus. As I think I described it with my friend Legend on my other channel, I think they went to Home Depot, took one of those big roller carts that you can go ahead and get, if you're going to get a lot of stuff, and put him on it, and then rolled him out there in front of a tractor trailer. It just absolutely just roasted him, in front of all the world to see, with Shams Charania reporting it on Twitter. A coaching mistake was made. So, I hope, Doug, that you better update your Indeed portfolio and your resume pretty soon, because if that doesn't tell you you will be looking for another job in the next few days, I don't know what will. But anyways, just wanted to make note of that. Very, very strange, possibly intentional, possibly tanking happening there. So if you have comments on that, please let me know below. But the Lakers do play later today. Still tied for fourth place in the Western Conference. They are tied with Houston, but remember, the Lakers do have the tiebreaker, so hopefully they can stay ahead. They have 3 games left in the season, tonight, tomorrow, and on Sunday, so we'll have to wait and see how it plays itself out. But there's also been other things playing itself out within the confines of the Lakers, and as I mentioned on yesterday's show, on the wrap-up of the game against Oklahoma City, Jared Vanderbilt got in not only one but two heated conversations with the coaching staff, i.e., JJ Redick. And JJ Redick and him just had a big brouhaha. He took him out of the game. I think he just missed three straight free throws, but 16 seconds into the second quarter, called a quick timeout, yanked Jared Vanderbilt out there. Vanderbilt was obviously very displeased, very upset, very unhappy about it. They had a brouhaha a little bit over it, about as far as a verbal brouhaha over it. And Jared Vanderbilt did not talk to reporters after the game. And I'll comment more about Jared Vanderbilt here in a second. But JJ Redick, I wanted to go ahead and lean into a little bit more on this. With the arguments and frustration setting in, the realization that the Lakers probably, if Luka and Austin remain out, will not have a long stay in the postseason, is JJ's hold on the team starting to crack. In fact, there's a lot of people now in the recent days, they weren't saying this over a week ago when the Lakers were still riding high, but they are saying it now that JJ, they're looking to go. And I am not the biggest JJ defender. I'm not the biggest JJ detractor. I don't, either which way, you keep him, you let him go. I will say this. I mean, the guy's won 50 games in a row twice. First two seasons as a Lakers coach since Phil Jackson. So that's nothing to sneeze at. He's been able at times to get this team to play better defense than it rightly should. I mean, you look at the lineup, you look at the roster, and it's just not a very good defensive-minded team. It's not a very good defensive team, period. And at times, through various means, traps, junk defenses, zones, things of that nature, he's been able to find ways to get this team to play defense at times, various times throughout the season. Offensively, the half-court offense, something he has been very familiar with over the course of his playing career, that has been actually pretty well executed as well. Of course, it helps when you have LeBron, Austin, and Luka out there helping you perform and execute a lot of that. And it's also his out-of-the-timeout plays, as long as they're not thrown in by LeBron James, hint, 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 are probably the best that they've been in some time, because we've been frustrated by out of bounds plays, after timeout plays for quite some time, and quite often they look better executed than quite some time. So I will give him some of these things. So some of the things I would work against him is inexperience has cost him on several occasions. I know he does not love using the roster and the rotation, partly because the rotation, back into the rotation, as you saw last night, is not that good. Let's just be honest. Let's just be clear. I know that a lot of people are asking to develop, but if I'll say it again, if there's not much there to develop, you really can't develop if it's just not that good. I do know Adu Thiero he's healthy now, so if you could try to work him into a few minutes, that would be a positive. But outside of that, you saw that the rest of the roster is very limited in some of the things it can and cannot do. So I know that he has been accused of playing his guys, really relying on his top 5, 6, 7 guys quite a bit in the rotation, and I will not deter from that. But on the other side, that, like I said, there's a depth issue as well. So again, I'm not hard either way, stay or leave for JJ, but I do want to hear your thoughts. I know Pinty has been very descriptive of what he thinks, and I'll go ahead and describe that here in a second on JJ Redick. But again, I don't think JJ is the root or the cause of the problem entirely of what's going on with the Lakers right now. Injuries, I've had a lot to deal with. But again, he traded wins for this team in place of, playing the younger guys more, playing the young kids more. We would not be in the position where we are as a team today, or the Lakers would not be in that position had he not done so. So again, he traded wins up front for possibly the health of the team. So I want to hear your thoughts on that. And again, if he can do anything in the postseason, and hopefully he will not rely on a very short rotation like he did in the previous chance in the postseason. So we will have to wait and see. But I know he'll have some limited resources in which to draw from. So we'll see how that looks so far in the coming days ahead. But again, do you have thoughts on JJ either which way? Let me know. And if you think that the hold he has on the team after what you saw on Tuesday is going to start to crack or is starting to crack as far as that's concerned. And if it's just a sign of times where they're starting to get tired of him as a coach and what he has to say, because he is a little bit out there, he's a little bit direct, and I'll go ahead and more on that in a second. But yeah, just let me know your thoughts on JJ right there below in the comments. Would love to hear from you. But before we head out, always do want to get to those comments. Would love to hear from you again. Truly appreciate it. So I'm going to go ahead and hit you guys up on some of those comments. In fact, I'm going to do so right now. I'm going to start off with my man Pinty, who was talking about JJ and the way he actually is talking about Vando and Rui and Ayton. So he said, JJ is doing really bad with this negativity, throwing Vando and Rui and Ayton under the bus. I think we need a new coach. Again, I don't think either which way, keep him, hate him, but I don't think it's need a new coach. If you keep him, he's a 50-win coach for the past 2 seasons, and that should not be discounted. But if you get rid of him, okay, and find something better. Find a more established coach. And we'll see if the Lakers do decide to do that. And I won't have any argument with that if that happens. But as far as him, he's a very brash and arrogant guy. I know, Pinty, you said that before, but Phil Jackson had his confidence as well. There's been a lot of coaches that are very confident in their abilities. Popovich was very quick-witted and very confident in his abilities as a coach as well. Had a very sharp tongue, just like JJ does at times, just like Phil Jackson had at times. And Red Auerbach, very successful coach in his own right, was very confident in his abilities as well. And with those guys, it was his way or the highway. And sometimes if you're not doing what the coach asks, sometimes it's the highway. It's just that simple. But with Vando's one of the greatest disappointments so far of this season as far as this team is concerned, because it's clear that he should have never been given that extension by Rob, because ever since he signed that extension, he had that double foot surgery, and then his play, as far as it just gone south. Offensively, it's pretty bad at this point. We mentioned the 3 free throws that he missed that probably led to a lot of JJ's angst. He's a good rebounder, has some very good effort and energy out there, but as a man-on-man defender, he is not what he once was. Let's just be frank and let's just be clear. He is not the defender that he once was. The only good man-on-man defender that we have is Marcus Smart, and that's it. Laravia tries hard, but he's not good. We've seen SGA and Flag just roast him. Luke Kennard out there, we already talked about that as far as defender is concerned. So yeah, Vando has been a disappointment, but if you're on that Vando hill and you see some good in him, let us know. But I think his time in LA, like I mentioned earlier, his time might be short as far as it's concerned. But what will it take to bundle him into a package? Do you need to give up a pick in order to get rid of him? I don't think so for a $12 million player, but you might have to. So we'll wait and see how that is done. Or do you sit him on the bench at the end of the bench until he decides he wants out himself? Again, that's some things that you guys want to talk about, because again, Vando has been a major disappointment for this team. Rui started the season, in the starting lineup, and he played himself off the starting lineup and into a reserve role. Now he's played well at times for a reserve role, but at his defensive acumen at times has been suspect. His energy and his focus on the defensive end primarily has been suspect. So he has shot well as of late, and again, he's been a pretty decent player as of late, but consistently all season has been another issue, because his inconsistency was one of the reasons why he was traded here from Washington. He became more of a consistent player with Lakers in recent seasons, but he's gotten back to some old habits. And I hope for him, because I know that he has got a free agency that's coming up here in a little bit. I hope he, finds it wherever he goes, or if he stays here with the Lakers. And Ayton, I know he said some comments, JJ did, about not being able to catch the ball. He's just calling it like it is. Here Hayden's had some butterfingers, and I don't think it's something where he's like Kwame Brown, who truly had hands of stone. You know, you would throw him the ball and he just would drop it every single time. I think with him, it's just the DeAndre Ayton experience. Again, this is what they've already experienced in Phoenix and Portland. As I've said before, the DeAndre Ayton experience is up and down, where if he's focused and he's ready and he's prepared and he wants it and the drive's there and the motor's there, he can give you a 20-10 game. If it's not there, then he will give you what he just gave you in 3 points and what, a couple rebounds, something. Yeah, it's disappointing to see what a former number one overall pick does on a regular basis, but this is where we're at. The DeAndre Ayton experience. You guys are upset about DeAndre Ayton experience, but if you just listen to some fans in Portland and Phoenix, they would have told you this was coming. And for a relatively inexpensive contract compared to others at under $10 million, it's not the worst deal in the world, and most likely he will get out of it. And if he gets out of it, you wish him good luck. But I think you guys talk about, because he's the number one, what could have been with him. But I don't blame JJ for calling it like it is with Vando and Ayton. I really don't. Rui, okay, I think he should be a little bit more patient on, but Ayton and Vando, they are deserving at times of the loud voice that JJ has for them. If you guys think differently, let me know. But or if you agree, let me know in the comments below as well. But before we head on out, Pinty says JJ needs to learn a lot. Well, he does. He's still inexperienced and still gets something. He still gets out coached from time to time, but he is doing some positive things in there, Pinty. And especially for you, someone who likes defense so much, because you always talk about these defenders the Lakers should get, as far as that's concerned in your mock trades. He has done things on the defensive end, JJ, that other coaches may not have been able to do with various defenses, because this team is not a good defensive team. It does not have personnel to be a good defensive team. And at times he has gotten this team to play acceptable levels of defense, whether it's through junk defenses, zone defenses, traps, etc., etc. It just seems like, he should get more credit for that from you as well. But he does need to learn a lot. He has been out schemed by coaches in games before. He doesn't like using his rotation maybe as much as a lot. Every coach gets chewed out because they don't use the rotation the way that they like to see it. But obviously last year with playing only 5 guys in the second half of a playoff game, obviously still rubs people, including me, the wrong way. But he should go ahead and utilize some of his roster, even though, again, as we've talked about, this roster, it has a lack of talent that needs to be addressed, whether it's by Rob or someone else this summer. It needs to be addressed, and if JJ stays, more assets to work with that can compete at an NBA level, because you don't have that right now. Danks, when we talked about LeBron, he said LaFlop isn't injured. He's just soft and too fragile to handle getting blown out again. The Oklahoma game. It's nothing new. He doesn't like to go against teams that are elite defensively. It's his MO, fake an injury and sit out till they play a bad team like Dallas or Utah. Well, he'll be playing against Golden State later today, Danks, and I know you are not the only one. There were several comments on my other channel talking about LeBron in a not so flattering light. And again, if he was making what DeAndre Ayton was making, $9 or $10 million, would you say differently, or would everybody out there say or speak differently about him? But you know what? He's making $52.6 million. You guys have the right to go ahead and say what you need to say on it. And especially the fact that he was resting, and it was, I don't want to play Oklahoma City-itis, or it was the team saying, we don't want you to play Oklahoma City-itis. And again, I'm not going to say anything else but that. But yeah, it was a let's sit him down because Oklahoma City is going to kick our butts type deal. So yeah, you're right, Danks, on that as far as to an extent. But LaFlop, whatever you want to call him, he is statistically having the greatest season ever at 41. But is it $52.6 million worth? I'll leave that up to your interpretation, because I know for me it's not. you're not getting that value. You can't get that 40. You asking a 41 year old, you just can't get that value. So having him sit out again, seeing the odds that were so stacked against us, I can't say that I'm surprised at all, and I'll just leave it at that. Me first says, hopefully Luka wants JJ gone. Again, if you want him gone, fine. I'm not going to fight you on it. If you want him to stay, fine. I'm not going to fight you on it either. Again, there are some things that you guys and gals have to admit he has done right, and some things that he hasn't done right as well. But again, one of them shouldn't be that he doesn't speak out, okay? Because if he, as a coach, it's nice when you call out these multi-million-dollar players. We forget that these guys, yes, they're human beings, whatnot, but if they do bad, or if they continue to do bad, or if they continue to underperform to the, in some cases, several to tens of $1,000,000, why shouldn't they be called out? That this is a tough league. Toughen up in some occasions. If it's overblown, if it oversteps the bounds, yeah, I could see that one thing. But JJ, I think, has just called them out for some things that you and I, when we watch them on the game, call them out on a regular basis for. And again, I'll just leave it at that. Again, that's as far as my defense for JJ goes. Again, he has been out-schemed, out-coached at times. He has put in things like he did in Houston. People were praising, and rightly so, the way he threw that trap, that excellently used trap against Kevin Durant in 4 quarters that really, locked those 2 games down in Houston. That has to be a credit to J.J. Redick on him implementing that. And again, a lot of the success of the wins should go to him. But also, as well, with that, a lot of the failures of this team should go to him as well. So again, if you want him gone, okay. If you want him to stay, okay. But if you want him gone, you've got to find a coach that is going to be better with that they're instantly going to go ahead. Luka is going to instantly go ahead and respect. And if you know who that is, let me know. It's not Mike Malone, because he's going to North Carolina. So if you know who that is, please let me know in the comments below as well. But great to have you guys here. Cannot thank you enough for stopping by and listening and watching and listening. Truly great to have you here. It is Gerald Glassford. Truly appreciate everything that you do for us. And again, for everybody out there listening on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, make sure you go ahead and give us that 5-star review. Even if it's, again, just you put there in the comments, great show. 5 stars. Thank you, Gerald. 5 stars. Thank you, Lakers latest. 5 stars. Thank you, fan arc. 5 stars. Just if you can, it's greatly appreciated. And I know that all of us in the podcasting world, we always ask you to do that, but we're told it helps. We're told it really helps. We're told it helps immensely. The Googles of the world and the Apple Podcasts of the world and the Spotifys of the world, they all tell us to make sure you remind them to like, to follow, to subscribe, to 5 stars, the whole 9 yards. So again, if you can, I know it only takes seconds to do so. I've done it myself. I hope you do as well. And I hope you consider it. And if you do, I'm indebted to you for doing so, indeed. So again, it's Gerald Glassford. Truly appreciate you spending some time with me, and hopefully your morning and your afternoon will be a good one. Lakers play later today in Golden State. What will happen? I'll have the recap for you. Hopefully no more arguing. Although that would make it more interesting. We'll see. We'll see what happens later today as the Lakers go to San Francisco and play Golden State, and I'll have the recap for you tomorrow for your entertainment pleasure right here at Lakers Latest. Thanks so much for watching, and have yourself a great day.